so good because I love to be heard. That's good. Don't you love to be heard? Do you have a voice? Are you visible? Are you vocal? Are you valuable? And you will be victorious, right? What are we celebrating? Yes, that's right. And this year, recovery is for everyone, right? Yay! Every person, every family, every community. Oh, good. Good. Thank you so much for being here today. Well, thank you. This is good.
Hold on. I would like to take this opportunity right now to ask Marianne Fernandez if you could so kindly take a seat, please.
Oh, take a seat.
Yes.
I'm going to do that.
Yes, please. Good morning. I'll put this down. Good morning, everyone. Marianne, thank you so much. Thank you so much. At this moment, we're going to do something a little different. We're here and we're celebrating recovery, yes? I gotta lift this up. And because we're celebrating recovery, we're also celebrating recovery champions, yes? That was weak. Come on, recovery champions. That's it. If we was outside, we'd want to hear you, and we'd want you shouting and screaming and hollering and letting everybody know that recovery is real. Come on, that was a moment where everybody should have been shouting. All right. After 20 years in sales management and training, he found his passion as a licensed clinical social worker and a recovery advocate. I want to introduce you right now, the board president of MOAR, Kevin McCarthy.
Thank you, Noel, and thank you everybody that showed up today. Recovery is real because you're here, because you show up for your recovery today. That's what makes it real, all right? I don't have a lot of words. I'm going to say on behalf of the board of directors, on behalf of the organization, we thank you for your role in making Recovery Day possible, because we recover together. There we go. So I'm just going to be short, and I'm going to say thank you for being here, and I'm going to thank Marianne, and I am introducing Father Joe, right? Father Joe, can you come up and give credit where credit is due? Because I don't know about you, but my recovery comes from up above. Father Joe.
Good morning. Can we get an amen to start with? Amen to start out, and all the good that's gathered here, and all we bring together. Just take a moment of silence. A moment of silence. Blessed are you, Lord God, Allah, Adonai, Lord, all the names we bring together in the spirituality of recovery as we pray in a special way for anyone who's most in need of a moment today. And before we begin to celebrate recovery, we recognize the needs around us of struggles and challenges, and gratitude for all who do so much in recovery and bring together all that this day represents. As we are about to celebrate recovery, can we say it? Celebrate recovery. We celebrate recovery. Celebrate recovery for all, recovery for me, recovery for you, recovery from and towards and journeying forward, and grateful. I'm not sure I'm supposed to introduce anyone, but to lift up everybody that's here. Lift up everybody that's here and those that we want to be with, journeying in recovery. All we bring forth and pray. Amen? Amen. 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 Welcome.
Thank you again, Father Joe, and thank you again all for being here. Next, I want to introduce someone who is a recovery champion, someone who has been supportive for MOAR since they came into position. We're going to get a video now from the Executive Secretary of the Health of Human Services. I'm going to introduce to you one of my recovery champions, Mary Lou Sutters.
Greetings, Mary Ann, Kevin, for ensuring that all of us remember that recovery is for everyone, every person, every family, and every community, every day. Thank you. It's so good to be in your presence, even if it's virtually. We will be physically present again, hopefully soon. Recovery Month is an important marker to recognize that recovery is real, and we need to support one another and each person's individual journey to engage in treatment and support, and not to blame, and acknowledge the urgent need to dispel the stigma that surrounds addiction. Of course, we remember the lives lost to overdoses and honor those who make up the Recovery Support Network, individuals in recovery wherever they are in their journey, providers, family, and friends, who empower those with substance use disorder to lead healthy, rewarding lives. We lean in and we reach out to one another. The challenge has been greater than ever during the pandemic, these long 21 months. Not just dealing with the virus itself, but with anxiety, isolation, and stress that has taken a toll on all of us, and particularly those who are most vulnerable may not be as resilient and strong. But the recovery community has been vital support throughout the pandemic and continues for so many. And I hope that today re-energizes all of us to support one another. When we speak of health, of course, we have to speak about whole health, physical and behavioral, and to ensure that it is accessible for anyone who needs it. And we need to ensure that the pathways to treatment, respect, and recovery are open. There's someone I want to recognize who has worked alongside with all of you for so many years. Someone I consider much more than a colleague, a friend, Mary Ann Frangoulis. I listen when Mary Ann talks. Mary Ann has dedicated her life to the community, helping others live full lives and assisting and advocating on behalf of those with substance use disorder. Mary Ann has been a champion for the recovery community for more than 30 years. Her vision, her hard work, has built MOAR into what it is today, a powerhouse of recovery. There's no question that her determination, her voice, and empathy has saved lives. And so to formally recognize what Mary Ann has done for this community, it is my privilege, my true privilege, to present Mary Ann with a citation on behalf of Governor Baker. Mary Ann's team already has the physical copy framed, and it says, "On behalf of the citizens of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I am pleased to confer upon you this governor's citation in recognition of your 30 years of dedicated advocacy and education at the Massachusetts Organization for Addiction Recovery. Thank you, be well, take care. I look forward to being in your presence again."
Whoa, 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 speech! Be careful when you ask for a speech, yes. Very good. Well, I am like overwhelmed. I mean, I heard there was a change in schedule, but this is like really, really more wonderful. I couldn't get this. It's really a we that is getting this. We have a wonderful staff, and if I missed out on everybody's name, so I am going to just say wonderful staff. You can all stand up. Stand up. Thank you. Thank you. And the board, President McCarthy, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. And with all the help of the Bureau of Substance Addiction Services, all the way through from the very first time that we got funded in 1998. It's been like all the way from, was it Dennis McCarty, and then I could go on. And then there's Julia, who reminds me every day of how to do things better, all the time. Yay, Julia! and we love her for it. Absolutely, absolutely. You know, so that is really, really important. And then this whole movement that's happening here in Massachusetts, all the way to Washington, D.C., the states across the whole United States, that in fact, they're celebrating 20 years of Faces and Voices of Recovery to build a national organization. You know, as I said before, but with all of you, it's because of you, like today. And thank God for Father Joe, because we're going to have this outside event, and I'm going to tell you this. At first I was upset the sun was out this morning, and I was like, how dare you? But it's raining, so I'm happy. But thank God, yesterday on the phone with Julia, Father Joe, the Smart Source, and the city of Boston, and Jen Tracy, all to make this change so that all of you could be with us today. So thank you, Father Joe, for making the space available. So important. So we will, someday they're going to say, what's stigma? Someday they're going to say, what's discrimination? Because we are all visible, vocal, and valuable, and every time a recovery center wants to open up, they'll say, yes, put it in my neighborhood. Yes, yes. Because there's like 26 of them now. Isn't that great? And then they're going to say, you know, to all the wonderful recovery homes that are here, I see Victory, I see Gavin. Who else is here? Hi, 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 hi. St. Francis, yay! John Flowers, so nice. Who else? Yes, thank you, thank you. And Meridian House. Oh, Meridian House. Oh my God, Meridian House. My God, the years of with Meridian House. This is wonderful. And you know we have unions here today, the Teamster Cares, which is great, and the recovery centers. Get up and stand up, each one of you, from wherever. That's great. Room to grow. Galler, all the way from Springfield, Massachusetts. Perfect, perfect. Hi. Wow. Very good. It's so wonderful. So, I could say thank you over and over, but we have a program to go on to, and that's what some people are thinking about. And I see that, oh my God, what do you have? Here's Katie O'Leary. The superstar from oh my God. From the whole.
And I think, is Deidre coming up?
Oh.
And I think we want to welcome Deidre Calvert from BSAS to come up as well.
Yes, yes. Oh.
We love you.
For Deidre? And Deidre's going to speak. Oh! Yeah, well, hey. You want to hold these?
Sure. I like flowers.
So, Marianne, we would like to present you with a proclamation
Oh!
from the governor.
From the governor! Yay! And there's Samsar over there. Hi! Taylor, Tim.
So we want to present this to you. It's a proclamation from the governor naming this month as Recovery Month. But this is to you. You have been a force and a guiding light for all of us in recovery for 30 years. I remember seeing Marianne 30 years ago at Mount Auburn Street, and she was, or Mount Auburn Hospital, and she was still jumping around, still screaming, still getting all of us excited about recovery. And I'm so grateful that I get to call you my friend.
Oh, thank you, Deidre. Wow, this is amazing, amazing. Thank you. Wow, very good. I am just so excited. Yes. So I'm gonna turn this over, but look at this proclamation. I'm back there. I am speechless. And I gotta. Yeah. Noel's got a job to do, and I'm preventing him from doing it if I say anything more. And if I didn't say thank you to each and every one of you, I'm saying it now. Thank you so much. Thank you more and more.
All I can say is amen to that. And for those that may not know what amen means is, let it be so. For my sake, I'm going to switch microphones because I can't hold myself in this position. So I appreciate it. So thank you very much, Marianne, Kevin. Thank you guys so much for jumping in here and doing this. And we're going to keep this. Today I'm a people mover. All right, we got a lot of people in here. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be keeping the people moving. Are we good with that? Come on, that was terrible. Come on. Are we good with that? All right, all right. So our next speaker has supported thousands of families across Massachusetts through her work. She has served the League of Women for Community Service since 1997, and she has been the National Black Alcohol and Addiction Council Chair. Please put your hands together for Ms. Leah Randolph.
Recovery is what? Real. Recovery is what? Real. Recovery is what? Real. I bring greetings from the Massachusetts Black Alcoholism and Addictions Council. I started where many of you are today. I want you to know that recovery works. Yeah. I own my own mental health and substance abuse clinic today. Yeah. Woo! Recovery what? That's right. So I'm here to just encourage you and to let you know that MOAR is here for you. We are here for you. You have a voice through MOAR. Do not ever underestimate who you are, what you bring, because it's because of people like us who have been to death and back again that can say what? Recovery works. Recovery works. I remember years ago, I was in a TC program. A lot of you may not know what that's like. There you go. That's right. And that's where I learned my discipline. See, you have to believe in yourself, have the discipline, and deny what anybody else says about you. Because you are the one that is creating your life today. The wonderful thing about recovery is that you get to start it all over again with no apologies to yourself for what has happened to you in your life. Remember that addiction is a disease. Never let anybody take your life from you again. Your addiction took enough of your life from you, and today you are here to say, I stand up, and if we were at the State House, we would be there walking around like we've done for 31 years, and we would be taking our lives back. You have a right to speak about what it is that you believe in. So there are many people that will come before you. You stand on my shoulders. Yeah. And always remember, there's a rising star concept. And what that means is that as you continue to grow, as you continue to get better, teach somebody else to hitch onto your star. And you continue to rise up. There's no fall in here. You continue to rise up and continue to be that rising star that you are today. I thank you very much for listening to me. Namaste. Recovery what? I say.
One more time. Put your hands together. One more time. All right. Moving along. Her stated focus is on cutting-edge and inclusive care for individuals contending with substance use and co-occurring mental health disorders. And let's put our hands together and let us welcome Deirdre Calvert from the BSAS Director.
Hi, good morning. I'm sorry, as everyone is, I'm all wet, and in addition, I lost my speech on the way over here. Somewhere, somebody's got a great speech that's all wet on the ground. So apologize if I'm going to read off my phone, but thank goodness I had sent it to myself. So my name is Deirdre Calvert, and National Recovery Month is of particular personal significance for me because of my own recovery journey. I am also a person in long-term recovery, and what that means to me is I have not had a drink or illicit substance since July 23rd, 2011. Thank you. Got a nice decade behind me. I also happen to be the director of the Bureau of Substance Addiction Services for the Massachusetts Department of Public Health. One of the best jobs I've ever had. BSAS is committed to expanding recovery efforts throughout Massachusetts. Too often, we are only focused on treatment and we do not spend enough time, energy, or resources on the two ends of the addiction spectrum that often get overlooked, prevention and recovery. We need to make long-term, robust commitments to the recovery supports if we are ever going to get out of this current epidemic. I am incredibly proud of the work that's being done in the Commonwealth to increase access to substance use disorder treatment, including recovery support services. We just invested $19 million for low-threshold permanent housing and support services through BSAS's Housing First initiative in Brockton, Holyoke, Lawrence, Lowell, Quincy, Springfield, and Worcester, where sobriety is not a requirement. We have $8.2 million for housing stability supports that have been established for permanent and transitional housing where residents can develop independent living skills and facilitating access to local child care development, parenting skills, and workshops for families. We have $7 million to expand the Moms Do Care and First Step Together programs to include all pregnant and postpartum women with SUD, expanding well beyond just opiate use disorder. We are expanding naloxone access by revising the standing order for naloxone to allow first responders and any human service provider, like staff at homeless shelters, crisis intervention services, and community health workers, to hand out this life-saving medication to family members, friends, or others who may be associated with folks who had a risk for overdose. Just so you know, it was illegal to just hand it out, and now we can hand it out. Investing over $10 million over the next 4 years to expanding access to enhanced services for BIPOC individuals, that would be Black, Indigenous, and people of color in their communities. I am so incredibly grateful for my recovery community. I celebrate Recovery Month with all of you. I congratulate all of you out there who are committed to this journey with me. I also hold close in my heart everyone who still struggles. I always cry. What is wrong with me? Means I'm still a social worker somewhere deep down in my heart. Remember, recovery is for everyone, every person, every family, and every community. Thank you for letting me be here to share.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. Our next speaker is an experienced manager, facilitator, trainer, coach, change agent. In her current role, she oversees recovery support services, which includes 26 peer recovery support centers. Let's put our hands together and welcome Julia Ojeda.
Boy, what we went through to get here today. I've been emotional all morning. I don't need to wear this right now. I've been emotional all morning. One, because I'm so grateful that so many of us made it through the last 18 months. Because a lot of people didn't. And so I'm a person in long-term recovery. And that means that I haven't had a drink or a drug in 36 years. And I came in on an OD. For those of you who know me, I came in on an OD, and a nurse I always say this because I think it's so important, a nurse in the emergency room, because the doctor didn't know what was going on. He thought I was like tripping. And I had literally OD'd and seizured from smoking freebase. And he was like, "Oh, you're on hallucinogenics." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." And the nurse knew, and she pulled me aside and said, "Are you done?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I am." And she hooked me up with a mutual step group in the area. And I've been in recovery ever since. that woman was a recovery coach at that time. That's the recovery coaches we have in emergency rooms right now. That's right. Those are the ones that intervene and take care of business because nobody else understands it like we do. So, Recovery Support Services, we have 25 live up and running recovery support centers, and the person responsible for that today is Danielle O'Brien. Where are you, girl? Gift of recovery. I'm going to do something that Deirdre did as well. You know, I want to celebrate the fact that this is the 30th anniversary of the National Recovery Month in the country. This is the 30th anniversary of us celebrating recovery. And I keep reminding people, last month we did a lot of vigils for people who had passed. And we keep them in our hearts and in our prayers, and we miss them. And we've recently just lost someone that many of us loved. And that's really hard. It's really, really hard for us. But it reminds us that this disease is a monster. And this only goal is to kill us. That's it. It's not to get us high. It's not to make us feel good. It's to kill us. That's its only purpose. And so when it takes one of us away, we know. We got to hang on to the hope that those who have not come into recovery yet will. At the Bureau, we're celebrating recovery is for everyone. And that means every person, every family, every community, not just the people who are actively using and who are in recovery. It includes the family members, the children in all of our communities, and that's why the peer recovery support centers are incredibly important. So when people come out of a detox, when they come out of CSS or TSS, or a treatment center or residential, we need to send them directly to a recovery support center in their community. We're about to open, by the end of this year, another 10, and we will have 35 recovery support centers in the state of Massachusetts. We presently have, as you all know, we also, believe in multiple pathways. People don't understand that harm reduction includes abstinence. It's a continuum. It's not just you can't use, you only can use, No, it's a continuum. Our recovery is a continuum. And abstinence is part of that. And harm reduction runs the entire continuum. We are here to support people and meet them where they're at. Meet them where they're at, wherever that is. We have people in here today that I can guarantee you are high. We have people in here today who are in recovery. At whatever level they are, we welcome them and we're with them, and hopefully, eventually, they will find recovery. We're here for each other. We have 463 recovery coach supervisors that I can name. We have 12 recovery trainers in recovery. We have 61 organizations in Massachusetts, 61 that I'm aware of that offer recovery coaching. We have 15 different recovery trainings that we sponsor, including a brand new supervision of recovery coach and also a brand new equity, inclusion, and diversity training. We have, for those of you who weren't there, in June we had the Recovery Coach Summit, and that was the superpowers of recovery coaching. There were over 200 people online for that. I was shocked. 200 people came online to celebrate recovery coaching. And this month is just remarkable, and it affects us all. I think I'd just like to end with, my mask says, people are wondering, why don't I have one of those Recovery for All masks? Which I have to thank Doris Cox. Where are you, girl? Where are you? There you go. Doris actually purchased the purple, and then she stayed up ironing those things onto every single one of our, so that takes, some commitment and love. My mask says, this is not a moment, it's the movement. This is a recovery movement. Recovery is not just a program or a meeting, or it's not just a detox. It's a movement that is happening throughout the entire United States and throughout the entire world. We are part of that movement. And I'm going to throw out a real quickie. I'm looking for 2 people to hire over at BSAS. And so, come and see me if you're interested. And, my love goes out to all of you. And I wish you all, again, recovery is for everyone. God bless.
All right. Thank you so much, Julia. Come on, that deserves a stronger hand. Come on. All right. Moving right along, I want to take this opportunity to introduce our next speaker, who is part of the MOAR family, but she is the director of the SOAR project, speaking out against speaking out for addiction recovery. Sorry about that. Can't read my own writing sometimes. All right, Kirsten Doherty, put your hands together.
Gosh, I hope it's not speaking out against addiction recovery. So I am Kirsten Doherty. I work at MOAR, and I have worked with the SOAR grant, which is speaking out for addiction recovery, not against, which has been about working with all the different peer recovery support centers in the state. Not only the ones that Julia mentioned, which are funded by the state through BSAS, but also an additional 10 out there that are funded by other sources. Some of them are independent, some of them are through a coalition in their particular region. So we even have a greater number of people, of peer recovery support centers covering the whole state, and we could always use more, right? So what I'm here to do is actually not be the one talking. I actually want to introduce a few friends of mine from the different peer recovery support centers across the state. It's amazing that some of them came all the way from Western Mass, which is where I grew up. I love these guys. I mean, talk about passion. So I'm really excited, but I'm gonna name who I know is the peer recovery support centers here today, and if I'm missing anybody, please shout out. So the Bridge from Malden, Turning Point in Walpole, the Valor, and I love that name, Valor. Room to Go from St. Francis House. A lot of them, wow. Hope for Holyoke, are they here? They're here in spirit. They're the sister organization to Valor. Peer to Peer from Stepping Stone, we got a few. Recovery on the Harbor, I think, and Stairway to Recovery. Am I missing anybody, please? I said the Bridge. Victory. I can't hear everybody. Oh, I'm sorry. From Cape Cod, maybe you came the furthest. I don't know. All right, so anyhow, enough talking from me. I am going to introduce a few people. What I asked them was, what is one of the most positive things that happened at your center in spite of COVID and or because of? Because even though COVID was the worst, there were some silver linings to what happened. So first I'm going to introduce a woman that I just fell in love with already, and I've only really met her online, I think maybe once in person, Cassandra from Valor, and she's going to tell you about a positive thing, which is not hard for her to do because she's a very positive person.
Hi everybody, my name is Cassandra and I am a woman in recovery. I'm the outreach coordinator over at Valor Recovery Center, and I worked hard for that to earn that position. COVID happened and it shut everything down, and Valor had just opened up just a few months before, so we were just getting rolling, and so it was kind of devastating because we were so excited to bring this recovery center to Springfield where it was desperately needed. But social media is great, and everything kind of happened at the right time because it allowed us to make a voice for recovery across social media and across the nation. And so I started doing online meetings, and it's an all pathways online meeting. It's just speaking about recovery and what it means to everybody in all different paths. And just sharing my own experience, strength, and hope on there. And I have 20 different recovery groups and an organization that I'm all a part of, so we just share it. And it really got the word out, and it really encouraged other people to kind of be a part of something that can sometimes be scary to step into. It's scary sometimes to step into a room when you don't really know what you're going to expect. It's scary to step into recovery when you have no idea what it's about. But this allowed people an opportunity to kind of see, and not just people who needed recovery, because recovery is for who? Everyone. That means, and you know, one of the things I say is everybody needs a 12-step program, okay? Because this world would be a whole lot better if everybody just used them steps, right? So, you know, it really just, it's brought out a lot of word about recovery. And I love that I'm encouraging people to come in and get recovery and ask about it, because some people just don't know. And we're spreading the word. And it's not, I mean, anonymous meetings are great. That's where I needed to start. But this is not anonymous. We are recovering loudly, vocally, you know, all of that's great, wonderful stuff. So, you know, basically, our recovery center is now up and running with amazing members that we love so much. And we're just out there in the community making a voice for ourselves, as we should, and as all of us here are doing today. And I just want to thank you guys so much for all coming out here during this weather and during this time. And, you know, my heart goes out to all of you. I pray that everybody just has a great, safe trip back. And I'm just going to end.
See what I mean? And Julie,
Hi, I'm the director of Valor Recovery Center. Yes, and I just want to add, really quickly, we're like, they were talking about we're all in recovery, right? I've been in recovery for 16 years, and let me tell you something, it's not always been rainbows and unicorns. And when we were talking about the virtual stuff in COVID and adapting and learning how to like develop, when Cassandra first started doing the lives, her hairs were everywhere. We were trying to figure out the Zoom thing all together. It was a lot. And now that we're going through the other side, we've learned how to adapt and get, and I just want to share, and I'm sorry I snuck up here. I just want to say how proud I am of our community, but how we're a piece of this process, the string in this tapestry of recovery, and I'm just so grateful for that. And thank you. Thank you.
that's perfectly fine, Julie. I was going to point out all the work that you and your team have done, and the members and the staff. I mean, it's been incredible, and your grand opening that you had and the event that you just had, which was a carnival or circus or something. Yes, and Julie was the headmaster, of course. I was a clown. Okay. Another person I want to introduce to talk about one positive thing is Tim from Turning Point. Tim? Oh, there he is.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Tim. I got 2 years, 8 months sober. But as you all know, one day, 20 years, really doesn't matter. One day at a time, right? 1 minute if you have to. But Turning Point's meant a lot to me. I've tried different pathways. I've suffered from substance abuse from a very young age. I started using alcohol probably when I was, I think I had my first beer that I stole out of my parents' refrigerator when I was 8 years old. So it was very young age I started using, and that went to, pot, coke. Then I started smoking crack cocaine, and it was a chase from there. It got ugly towards the end, but here I am today, still alive. Thank God. Thank my higher power for that. COVID affected us all, as you know. But when our doors closed, we took quick action on that, went right to Zoom, and we were still able to connect through Zoom in the recovery community. And, I'm a peer leader at Turning Point. I do a lot of outreach stuff as well. But we're all peers here. Everyone in this room, we're all peers. You're my peers. You're my friends, allies, friends, and thank you.
All right, and one more speaker, Anthony from the Bridge, which is in Malden, and they opened during the pandemic, and they have made amazing strides. So I'm looking forward to having Anthony talk about what's been positive about opening during the pandemic, which was not easy to do. All right, Anthony.
Hi, everyone. My name's Anthony. I am the Assistant Director at the Bridge Recovery Center and also a person in long-term recovery. COVID-19 has given us at the Bridge Recovery Center the ability to create a truly organic peer recovery support center. COVID has given us the ability to understand and assess the needs of our community while creating peer-to-peer relationships, virtually and in person. Our members, who are truly amazing, have rose to the challenge, creating self-esteem together while giving our community the ability to see what recovery looks like. And with that being said, like, recovery is real, and all of us in this room are living proof of that. So thank you.
Thank you to all the speakers, and Anthony, truly, him and Carrie Ann did amazing work just finding people and reaching out to people in such creative ways, and I was still impressed. So thank you guys. Thank you for all the speakers.
All right, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kristen Doherty, for the SOAR project. And as I said, I'm going to continue to try to keep this moving forward. Let's, our next speaker, he has more than 11 years in recovery from alcohol and other drugs. He's been used the pathway of faith-based and 12-step supportive services, and he is from Gandara and BHN. Let's put our hands together and let's welcome John Martinez.
Hi, I'm John, and I'm in recovery. I have 12 years in recovery and 10 years without smoking a cigarette. I want to thank Mary Ann for inviting me to speak. This is my first time, so please bear with me. So she asked me to share a little bit about my experience in my recovery. So I had 2 years in recovery. I come from New York City, born and raised, and I needed a change, man. Like, I tried committing suicide 4 times. You know, I was just tired of living, and I wanted to die. And I never been to Massachusetts in my life, you know. But things happened beyond my wildest dreams, you know, like, and so. So I came down to Massachusetts, but my intentions when I came down to Massachusetts wasn't to stay in recovery. It was to make the family happy. You know, like, I came down here like that. When I come home, I could go back to baby mama, you know, and play the role and pretend like everything's all fine and dandy, right? But when I was done, I went to a 6-month program with Gandara, you know, and when I was done, I knew I couldn't go back home. You know, I said, if I go back home, the moment I go home, I'm gonna use. So I stayed in Massachusetts, you know, and the experience, the journey, recovery journey is amazing. You know, like, I never in my mind would I ever imagine being in front of all of y'all speaking about my recovery. You know, that's beyond my wildest dreams right there. You know. So, like, I was 2 years in recovery, and I was going through a lot. It was, you know, some politics and stuff like that I won't get into, but but I decided to quit smoking, right? And it started a chain reaction, right? Because when I quit smoking, my sponsor said, John can't quit smoking, and I'm still smoking, so he quit smoking. And then that started another chain reaction. My sponsee brother quit smoking, and then his sponsees quit smoking, and it was like 5 of us, we quit smoking at the same time, and listen, anything is possible in recovery, just one day at a time. Just keeping it in the moment and in the now, not thinking too far ahead, because I'm one of those, I like to, vision what's gonna happen, how things is gonna turn out and everything, and I set myself up for some pain, So, recovery is awesome, man. I can never imagine my life any other way right now. Like a little history, man. I've been incarcerated for 15 years and came out with a heroin habit from jail, and life just started getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And now in recovery, my life just keeps getting better and better and better and better and better. And I would have never imagined that, I would have never imagined life being so great, man. And again, I want to thank Marianne for allowing me to speak. And, she's always like, I call her a firecracker. She's always, got that energy with her, and I appreciate you. So thank you for hearing me out. It's nice speaking.
That's it. Recovery's real. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, John. Our next speaker is the Chief Lawyer and Law Enforcement Officer in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Let's put our hands together and let's welcome Attorney General Maura Healey.
Well, good morning to all of you. I am so happy to be here with all of you. This is Recovery Month. It is a time of celebration. I listened to Tim, I listened to Anthony, I listened to John, and the stories. You all have your own stories. So let me just say at the outset that I am so grateful to Marianne. I am so grateful to MOAR for bringing this group together of people who have accomplished so much and continue to accomplish and inspire every single day. Thank you for everything that you guys do. I think that what you all do has to be the hardest thing that anyone can do. Don't talk to me about hitting 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. Don't talk to me about touchdowns. Talk to me about what it takes to get to where you are. Not only to get to where you are, but to stay in it every single day. And to stay in it when so much is stacked against you. Because we don't have the systems in place in this country to address issues of substance use disorder and behavioral health. You have been up against it for way too long, and that needs to change. It shouldn't be so hard. It should not be so hard for you. It should not be so hard for our families, right? So I want to say a couple things this morning, and I had some notes, but I sort of put them to the side because I just wanted to share what I'm feeling right now. As I say, and congratulations, Marianne, for your recognition. Marianne got recognized this morning. A couple things. On the personal, I have so much regard and respect for people who are in recovery, who are struggling. I know how much you want to be better. I know how desperately vulnerable you have made yourselves, and vulnerable not just in the ways that leave you subject to abuse and ridicule and stigma and violence, but vulnerable in a way that opens your heart to seeing experience through the life of another, right? Opening your heart to understanding the profound humanity in all of us and the actual moral imperative that we have as people to treat everyone with dignity and respect and care, and to never give up. To never give up. And I want to thank you for living that experience every day. And I want to tell you that so many people I've met these last 7 years, you know, I came to you 7 years ago as your Attorney General, and I came having entered office, having heard the stories of so many of you and your experiences. And it's why my team made combating the opioid epidemic the top priority. And yes, we have worked with you and we have sought to bring accountability. We shut down Purdue Pharma. We have forever put the Sacklers' name in infamy. We have gone after and recovered more than $500 million that will come right back to the state exclusively to be used for recovery and treatment and prevention and education. And I am proud of my team and I am so grateful to them for their efforts. But it's not enough. It is not enough. It is not enough because we have systems in place in this country that continue to get in the way. We have seen, and you know, I don't know that any of us expected to be combating an opioid epidemic then in the context of a COVID pandemic, right? And we know what's happened. We know what's happened. Again, this is a time of celebration. I will end with affirmation, but I want to speak right now in real ways about what I'm seeing. More opioid overdoses and deaths this year than last year. Among our Black population, opioid overdoses up 30%. This is in Massachusetts, right? I continue to hear calls from family members desperate to get people into care, into treatment, which, by the way, we know needs to be long-term and include things like secure housing and pathways to employment and education and child care for women in particular. I also look across this country and see that our failure as a society to deal in real ways with mental health and behavioral health has left us with a rocky foundation. You wonder why we have trouble in the criminal justice system? You wonder why we have people who aren't able to move forward? You wonder why our healthcare costs are escalating? You wonder why educational outcomes aren't where they need to be? Why don't we go back and fix the foundation? Treat substance use disorder, mental health, the way it should be treated. And that requires a whole re-examination, restructuring of the systems in our country. I want to work on that. I am committed to working on that as your Attorney General. Last week, I testified in our state legislature. I testified in support of that federal ARPA money, some of it being used directly to go to behavioral health and substance use disorder. We need that. But you know what? If we don't have the behavioral health providers out there in the first place, you can pour all the money into the world, into beds and care and facilities, but what are you going to do without the bodies? How are we going to incent more people to go out and get trained as peer recovery counselors and as therapists and as social workers? We need to do this. So I just wanted to tell you, like, that's where my head is at, you know? My head is at dealing with the issue of the growing disparities exacerbated by COVID, too. We need more anti-racist training, more cultural humility training. We need more people in diversifying this workforce as well. So, finally, I also need your help with something. We got a crisis not far from here that is not about an intersection. It is about people. I don't know that we've confronted this before. We have to recognize that we have got public health issues. We've got growing public safety issues when the people who are down there say their number one concern right now is their own safety. We got a situation. But we can fix this. We can do this. I believe, and I'm inspired by the likes of all of you. I believe we can do this. We just need to come together as a team. Now, come together as a team, what does that mean? To me, a good team, and some of you know I play basketball, everybody's got their role, right? Everybody's got their part to play. We need a concerted, intentional, multidisciplinary approach to that area, right? We need to support the public health resources that are there and bring more in. We need to address people's issues of safety and take care of those who are exploiting a situation for their own greed, preying upon the most vulnerable among us. We need to find ways that people are set up for success and get to the places that they need and deserve to be, recognizing that many don't have the family support there. They're on their own. So I refuse to let that situation abide. And I support efforts for city officials, state officials, people in our stakeholder community providing the wonderful services and programs, the sheriff, the DA, the courts, the hospitals, and all of you come together, right? There are going to be a lot of people who say no. It is so damn easy, I've learned in my job. It is so damn easy for people to say no. Can't be done. Haven't done that before. I refuse to lead that way, and I refuse to accept that reality. So I just want to say the people that are putting out ideas for solutions, let's work in common ground. Let's try to find the best way through this. It may not be perfect, but we don't have a playbook. We don't have a playbook. But if we have the heart, and we have the head, and we have the intention, and we have the team spirit, let's just get this done. So when I hear the critiques out there, and the people who say no, I say, well, what is the solution? What is the best way to get there? And you know what? Before anyone speaks about this, they ought to take a walk. Take a walk and see what's going on before you comment, before you critique, before you say no, right? So listen, people, I love you, and I have so much regard and respect for you. I come here humbly today asking for your help and support and guidance in the days, weeks ahead. I'm not talking months, because we need to deal with this now. Winter is coming. People are getting hurt. People are in danger, and I don't want more people to suffer, okay? And it's a larger issue than the intersection of Mass and Cass. But as we go forward and work on systemic issues, just know that I will continue to be guided by you all, inspired by you all, and God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, all right. All right, all right. Some great, inspiring, and awesome words spoken from the heart. Our next speaker is from the New England Addiction Transfer and Technology Center. Please welcome and put your hands together for Dr. Janey Hernandez.
Saludos, buenos días, good morning. A la gente de recuperación por ahí. Estamos presentes, puñeta. ¿Sí? Esa es la que hay. So if you didn't know what I was saying, we were talking about you. My name is Janey Hernandez. They introduced me as Dr. Hernandez. I have a PhD, but I also have a GED. My GED I got in prison. And it was more difficult to get a GED in prison than to get a PhD out here. And I say that not to pat myself on the back, but to speak to the people who are in the room, who are in recovery, who have been told, no, you cannot. Yes, we can and we will. Go we can and we will. I want to talk about a couple of things that I think are relevant, and I don't go anywhere to talk about issues of recovery unless I talk about injustices. Injustices that have been happening for decades and decades and decades on this continent and on this in this country. There's a lot of talk about disparities, and I welcome that conversation because many of us have been talking about disproportionate impact and disparities on certain populations. And if you feel comfortable, right? How many of us have a criminal offender record in the room? You see, we cannot talk about substance use disorders, treatment or recovery pathways unless we mention the criminal injustice system. Dare I say that, right? I don't call it the criminal justice system, it's the criminal injustice system. We had 200,000 people incarcerated in the U.S. in 1970, fast forward to today, there's 2.3 million people incarcerated in the US. Upwards of 80%, depending on the data that you look at, have a substance use disorders. Upwards of 65% have a mental health issue. In this country, we have criminalized substance use disorders, and we have criminalized mental health by way of locking people up, and that needs to stop. We cannot continue to talk about these issues without talking about issues of justice, right? And so we have a responsibility.
Yes, we do.
I appreciate what the Attorney General just talked about and all of her work and her team's work. But the reality is, I live for the day where the Sacklers end up in jail in the same prisons and jails where we ended up. 500,000 people approximately have died since 1999. Where are the people going to prison for that? Right? Last year, 97,000 people died of opioid overdose deaths. And by the way, I don't believe that we have an opioid crisis, because our crisis is grounded in much more than just opioids. African Americans die more of cocaine use across the country than of opioids. More people die of alcoholism than all of the other drugs combined. When we have a myopic view of what the problem is, we come up with myopic solutions. And by the way, African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics, Latino, Latinx community, what we got in the 80s, 90s, and we're still getting today is prison and jails, while others are getting access to treatment. That shit needs to stop. That shit needs to stop. And we are the people responsible for doing that. Before we were in this room, there were people who came before us, and they set the stage so that we can do what we do. We need to be advocates for our folk. We need to be advocates on the ground. Now, it's not just the criminal and justice system. We have other systems across the country who have also internalized racism, sexism, homophobia, and other forms of oppression. And we see them in their direct policies in treating people or not treating people who look like us, behave like us, who have issues similar to us. And we need to hold those systems accountable as well. And some of those systems get up in front of us and say, I support equity. When in fact, you look at the policies and it's double talk. Through here, I say I support equity, and in the policies and procedures and actions, there is a lack of understanding of what true equity is, and there's a lack of commitment to lead with equity. We have a responsibility to hold those people accountable, because I have news for them and news for us if you didn't know this. The dollars that are coming to these programs are our tax dollars. We're not asking for handouts. We pay taxes like everybody else. So we need to hold some people accountable for that issue. The final issue that I'll talk about briefly has to do with a look inward. Look inward into what? Into who we are and how we come to this issue. Here's in part why. Right now, there's hundreds of billions of dollars coming into the field. The magic bullet right now is medication assisted for everybody. Everybody needs medication-assisted treatment. And listen, I supervise a team of folk who provide MAT, MAR, and I support MAT, MAR as a pathway. And those of you in this room who are on medication, whether that be Suboxone, Methadone, we got your back. I believe in your recovery. I believe that you're in recovery when you say you are, and I believe that you're doing the right thing. That said, to issues of justice, there's 23 million people who identify as being in recovery in this country. And about 20 to 30% did it through medication, which means that the majority did not. So I believe in something simple called in the multiple pathways of recovery. Multiple pathways, not just one pathway. Right? And so 12-step in recovery, does it work? Of course it works. Is it for everybody? No. Rational recovery, smart recovery, celebrate recovery, do they work? Yes. Refuge recovery, do they work? Of course. Are they for everybody? No. Faith-based in recovery, does it work? Of course it does. Is it for everybody? You name it. Exercise. Are the people here from Phoenix? They got to be around somewhere, right? Exercise in recovery. Does it work? Of course it works. Is it for everybody? Holistic approaches, your acupuncture, your meditation, your yoga, does it work? Is it for everybody? So why the hell are we insistent in saying my way or the highway? Those of us at the individual level do that, and many people in recovery, we need to own that because I used to do it myself. And those of us who create policy and fund programs also are doing that. And we need accountability beginning from within. We need to take a page out of the restaurants in this country that when you go in, they give you some water, something to drink, and they give you what? A menu. And they ask you, what do you want? They don't tell you you're having hot dogs, Marianne, whether you like it or not. And your only choice is to decide if you want relish, ketchup, or mustard. We have a responsibility to put options in front of people that work for them, not for me. In December, I will have 35 years in recovery. Thank you. I say that I say that because of what is possible. Some people in my life put some options in front of me, and they said, Janer, what is going to work for you? We'll support you on that pathway, and if it doesn't work, come back. Not this idea of, I'm going to tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and if it doesn't work, it's your fault. We have to be talking about systems change, but that begins with us as human beings, because we represent systems change in organizations, in policies, and that sort of thing. So if I leave you with anything, I leave you with that. I leave you with a look inward. Let's look at who we are. Let's stop calling people homeless, frequent flyers, hard to reach, hasn't hit rock bottom. All that bullshit is within our system, and we perpetuate discrimination when we use language that is discriminatory. We should never use that language again. I am not an addict. I am not an addict. Janer Hernandez is a person in long-term recovery. Not that. Because when people hear addict, they go, Janer who stole my car. Janer who broke into my house. Janer who stole drugs on the street. And guess what? I did all of that. Maybe not in your house, but in other people's houses. So I don't call myself that because I know what it means to other people. And if I know that it's going to hurt you, and you, I will never use that language. And if I fall back and I use that language, I apologize and I move forward. So, mi gente, pa'lante, siempre pa'lante. Thank you very much. And fully vaccinated. For those of you who need to get vaccinated, please go ahead and do that. If you're concerned about a chip, throw away your phone because your phone has a chip. Don't drive your car because your car has a chip. Don't use your credit card because your card has a chip. No one is paying, you were paying them to have a chip on us. No one's gonna go through all that trouble to put it. We're 600,000 people. We cannot add to that list. Muchas gracias.
All right. Come on, let's give him one more bigger hand of applause. Speaking truth. Our next speaker is a person in long-term recovery and is a certified recovery coach at BMC. Put our hands together for Tyshawn Perryman.
Wow. Janer. Hey, listen, you know, I was thinking, right? First of all, before I begin, can everybody in recovery give yourselves a round of applause, please? I mean, you know, just for being here. It's such a blessing. My name is Tyshawn. I'm a person in long-term recovery. I've been in recovery for 6 years, and I'm here now. They say, you know, you hear a lot of people say, you know, I don't want to get up and follow someone like that or the Attorney General, right? Not me. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be a part of them. Thank you, Marianne, for the invitation, but I look at it as an engagement, as me having an opportunity, right, to engage with this living organism. It's not just a movement, it's a living organism, something that we walk, breathe, eat, sleep, think, recovery. And I'm here on it, so I don't care who speaks ahead of me. That's my brother. He got something to say, I got something to say, and I want to steal everything he said and say again. Right? I'm here to speak on a couple of things. Number one is why I became a recovery coach, and number two, why I believe that recovery coaches should be licensed. I'm going to try to kill two birds with one stone and just give you my little parable. People that are, or metaphor, whatever you call it, right? People that are old school NA people, they might have heard of the story, but I'm going to tell you, I got it from one of my Spanish brothers in recovery. I never heard it, but here it goes. But actually, this is my version. This is the recovery coaching version, right? So there was a young man who stumbled into a hole on Mass Ave, right? He stumbled, like, bam, fell into that hole. And a crowd gathered around. Oh, man, just look at this dude inside the hole, oh, right? So a doctor came and said, hey, man, I'm going to call the ambulance for you because you need some help, right? And then a clinician came and said, boy, you in a deep, dark hole. While you're waiting on the ambulance, let me ask you a couple of questions. How'd you get into that hole? How'd you fall? And how you feel about that fall, right? But the recovery coach came along. The recovery coach came along, right? And the recovery coach jumped into that hole with the man, right? And the man said, man, thank you, man, for coming here. I mean, everybody's just looking at me. You jumped in the hole with me, right? But now we both stuck, right? The recovery coach said, no, we both not stuck. I've been here before, right? And so that's why I became a recovery coach. It's because recovery coaching is invaluable. There's deep, dark crevices of a person's therapeutic recovery that clinicians, doctors, and others, that they can't get into, but recovery coaches can. This is why I feel like recovery coaches should be licensed, because recovery coaches aren't sponsors. We can be a sponsor in some type of light, right? What recovery coaches are, right? We are a way to help, support, lead, guide, a professional way, may I add, to help, support, lead, guide, navigate you. A person with lived experience that as soon as you talk to them, we understand. I feel like that type of being of a recovery coach is invaluable. And we ought to be licensed because we carry that invaluable thing that other people, other professions, they're getting paid for, and they're not doing that type of love, that type of work that we putting in. Recovery coaching is all about love, lived experience. I've been there, done that, right? The number two reason why I feel as though recovery coaches should be licensed is because we're carried by the same organizational policies, rules, laws, and regulations as anybody else within an organization. If you work inside a hospital like I do, I'm held to the same professional standards as a doctor. And so, therefore, if you're going to hold me to the same professional standards as a doctor, even though recovery coach is non-clinical, doctor work is clinical and things like that, right? If you're going to hold me to the same professional standards as them, I ought to be compensated like them. I ought to be compensated like them. The third reason why I feel like I believe that recovery coaches should be licensed is because one thing I didn't know, right? So here's my story real. How much time I got, Noel? Okay. All right. So real quick, here's my story. When I started my recovery, I stuck to the script. I didn't pass go. I didn't collect $200. I did everything. You tell me multiple pathways. I was at Smart Recovery. I was at Boston Public Health Commission. I did Impact. I did ATR. I did everything. And guess what? I did it all by myself. I didn't have a recovery coach. As someone said, do it, I went. Right? So the third reason why I think that a person that recovery coaches should be licensed, right, is that recovery coaches, what we do is, oh man, I lost my train of thought, y'all. The third reason why I think recovery coaches should be licensed is, well, you know, y'all got two reasons. That's good enough, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean? So, that's good enough. I came here to be my authentic self and hang out. If I forget, I forgot. All right? Thank y'all. Love y'all.
Thank you, Tyshawn. Thank you so much. All right. Let's keep it moving. Our next speaker represents the 11th Suffolk District, led efforts to improve access to mental health and substance abuse services, especially in the communities of color. Let's put our hands together and let's welcome Representative Liz Malia.
I think I just blew in the door. And what I'm really, really impressed by is the fact that there's so many people here in adverse circumstances, and it's celebrating Recovery Month. And, you know, couldn't be a better bunch of people. And a lot of the people in here are going to be dripping themselves dry for a little while, but it's good to have you be here, and it's good to be here with you. I don't have a lot to offer other than to say, I think I'm one of the people in the legislature that's been trying to help steer the boat to the recovery movement and helping to try to explain to my colleagues why recovery is so important and why recovery coaches are, from what I can see at this point, the most important resource that we have available to us in this society, in a pandemic era, in an era of substance use pandemic that got left behind after the other pandemic. And what we know is that there have been a lot more people, a lot more lives lost. I'm reading a little bit of background that's saying that we're not really aware. We're just getting to be aware of how much damage we sustained as a population during the COVID epidemic, the beginning of the COVID epidemic. What I'm really concerned about now is the fact that we have to like regroup, reset, and get back out there, and we need an army of recovery coaches. We don't just need a few. We need an army of recovery coaches because that is the only way we're going to turn the tide against the substance use epidemic we're living with. And you've heard a little bit about how dedicated folks are and how passionate they are about their jobs. I want you to know that we need 1,000 times 10 more people. So I'm just here to say thank you for the work and the power and the energy that you bring. Thank you for making it here through, literally through rain, thunder, lightning. It's still thundering outside, pouring rain, and I still can't believe how many people are here. So it's a testament to everyone here. We'll keep working for the legislation. Marianne won't let me off the hook if I don't. By the way, I just have to say, I've known Marianne for a long time. Many, 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 many years. And I really think that we owe her an incredible amount of gratitude for sticking with it and never letting herself get pushed off message for years and years and years. She was the only person at the State House and Beacon Hill that carried the message and wouldn't let us off the hook. She just followed us, and if you didn't sit there and listen to her for a few minutes, she'd find you when you sat down the next time, and then she'd find you the next time. And if you went into the ladies' room, she'd find you there. Because it's personal to her, and it means so much. So thank you very, very much, and it's really wonderful to be here with this group. Love you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Quick announcement. For those that are standing, there's some seats that are available. If you want to make your way to some of the seats that are available. If there's seats in between you, move all the way to the end. Make some room. Let some people sit down. For those that may want to sit down, make yourself comfortable. By the same token, we're going to keep it moving. I'm trying to be a people mover, so we're moving people. If we can move, get comfortable, sit down. All right. Our next speaker, medical director, and provides leadership for fast paths to treatment through Project Assert. Let's put our hands together and let us welcome Lauren Netwich, MD.
Wow, today is amazing. And so I personally hate public speaking, so this is a little bit of a hell. But I really want to thank all of you for your stories, your energy, allowing me to be here. When Rosa asked me to come to speak, I really got palpitations, but I couldn't turn down this opportunity. So I'm here representing my colleagues from Faster Paths Project Assert at Boston Medical Center. They're the people that help us in the ED care for patients with substance use disorder, care for patients in recovery. I cannot say enough good things about them. Ludi Young took me under her wings when I was a little... Ludi's... So she took care of me when I was a baby doctor, when I really knew nothing, and she taught me about addiction, about recovery, about the strength and the energy, and she really has helped me become a better doctor. And yes, Ludi, Don, Rosa, Joanna, John, I can go on and on. They're my heroes, my colleagues. They really do make the world a better place. They all wanted to be here today, but they're busy saving lives, so you get me. I also want to say the statement recovery is for everyone. I love it. It's really hearing it over and over today. It is so true. And I just want to say addiction, in my day-to-day work, addiction is a terrible disease. And I have immense respect and immense gratitude for all that you guys do every day to fight and to continue to be strong and to continue to support one another. So thank you all. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for allowing me to be here and part of this. Thanks.
All right, all right. Our next speaker serves as the chief of the mayor's office of Health and Human Services for the city of Boston, the largest agency within the city government. Put your hands together and welcome Marty Martinez.
So good afternoon, morning, where I don't know where we're at, but good day to everyone that's here. I'm so proud to be here with all of you. I think in short order you're going to hear from the leader of our city, Mayor Janey will be with us to share some comments. So I'm just going to offer a few thank yous and then a charge. The thank yous is to everyone in this room for your ongoing commitment and work to ensure that people get the support and help that they need. I'm grateful to those folks who work for a social service provider, an organization. I see the Casa Esperanza team in full effect over here. I see, folks from victory programs and healthcare for the homeless and organizations on the ground doing very important work. I'm grateful to all of you, so thank you is my first to all of you. On the city side, I want to thank the Boston Public Health Commission, the Office of Recovery Services, the folks at AHOPE and PATS for the work they do every single day to get people resources they need. Thank you for your continued work. I appreciate that. I also want to thank Marianne and MOAR. The work that you all do to raise visibility, make sure that the conversation continues, and not let people forget what's happening, following Liz Malia to the bathroom. Everything you do, I think, is super important, and I'm grateful to hear your voice. So a big round of applause for MOAR and the work that they continue to do. I also want to thank those of you who are making sure that we don't forget the disproportionate impact that the substance use disorder epidemic has had in certain communities. We cannot forget the impact that we are seeing across all communities, but again, when we see it in our Black and brown communities, it's important we don't lose sight of the work we need to do. So thank you for those of you who continue to lift that up. Equity is a buzzword that everyone uses now, but it has to mean something, and so thank you for all of you who continue to press that it means something. So I appreciate that on your end. And then the last piece I'll give you, because I know there's a lot of great speakers here, and I'm grateful to hear from them. The last piece I'm going to give you is a charge. And if I could lift up a mirror, I'm saying this to myself as much as I'm saying it to everybody else that's here. The frame you have is recoveries for everyone, every person, every family, every community. But I have to tell you, we still have much work to do to break down the stigma that exists in our neighborhoods, the stigma that exists in some of our cities and towns, the stigma that exists for people to get the services they need, for people to get the help they need, and for people to stop pointing to other people to figure out solutions for things that impact all of our communities. In the city of Boston, we're going to continue to fight that stigma. We're going to continue to push. We don't always get it right, there's no question, but we're going to continue to press that everyone needs the support that they deserve, everyone needs access to the care to help make them healthy, and the city of Boston is going to continue to press that, whether it's popular or not, whether it's raised and celebrated in the globe or not. We're going to keep doing that work, and we're going to keep making sure people have access to that care. So please hold the city accountable. We're going through some transitions, if you haven't noticed. Hold the city accountable, and I promise and commit to you, as long as I'm in this seat, we will continue to do exactly that. Thank you for having me here with you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Marty. Our next speaker is the founding principal of Ostagai Recovery High School. He's going to be coming with a student from the school. Let's put our hands together and welcome Roger Ozer.
Hi, good morning. It's great to be here. When I was coming in, I had seen someone I hadn't seen in a long time, and they were like drenched and, obviously from the weather. And I was like, oh, this person must be, miserable. And I asked, hey, I haven't seen you, how you doing? And they said, grateful and happy. And then, so when I heard that, I knew I was at a MOAR event. I knew I was at Recovery Day because I'm here. I'm from Ostagai High in Boston, one of the 5 recovery high schools across the state. We've opened our doors for 15 years for any young person who's been impacted negatively by drugs and alcohol and is looking for a positive, peer-supported environment. And we hope to be around a lot longer supporting young people. Really appreciative of the staff and the students at all the recovery high schools. And really lucky, the best person here from is a student. So I'm really thankful to have Sam here with us today, who wants to share a little bit of his story. So, Sam.
Hi, my name's Sam. I'm an addict. It's great to be here tonight. 7 months ago, I never would have thought this possible. I started using at 12. I started with liquor, and then it just progressed and got worse and worse. By 14, I was addicted to Ritalin and Adderall, and then by 16, it was Coke and Xanax and a couple other things. I've spent the last 5 years in hospital after hospital because anytime anything went wrong, I'd just get sectioned and go to a hospital. And it'd make things a lot worse. About 7 months ago, after I got sectioned, during a Xanax blackout, they decided to send me to a detox instead of a hospital, and honestly, that was the best thing that could have happened to me. I ended up at the Cushing House for the 2nd time. This was my 13th program, and I just graduated the 6-month program on Friday. I had a few slip-ups, but I got my 4-month chip presented to me last Wednesday, and it's not easy, but life is definitely a lot easier than it was when I was messed up every day. I can actually deal with things without drugs now. It got to the point where I couldn't wake up, I couldn't go to sleep, I couldn't do anything without drugs. But coming to AA every single day honestly saved my life. I've met a second family in there, and there are so many people in Boston, so many support systems that have just helped me so much. I actually got kicked out of my school because they didn't want a drug addict in their school. It negatively affected their reputation, and they said they couldn't support me. So I had nowhere to go, and Ostagai took me in. I got set up with there from Cushing House, and this school has been helping me so much. I actually have counselors at school that can talk with me about drug addiction and don't call me a junkie and don't minimize my issues or make me feel awful. There may be a lot of drugs in Boston, but this is the best place for me to get sober. Honestly, I've found so much help out here. There's so many wonderful groups. The only issue I have is there's no real treatment facilities for minors in Massachusetts. Cushing House was 16 to 21, and it's closing down in 5 weeks when the last person graduates. So there's really nowhere for us to go. I was graduating Cushing, and I wanted to find another treatment facility. I reached out to sober house directors. I reached out to people at recovery centers. I reached out to everyone, and there's really nowhere to go. So that's really my only complaint. I feel like there should be more treatment options for minors. But I'm sober today, and honestly, I couldn't be happier with life. Like I said, it's not easy. Every day's a challenge, but as long as I don't put a drug or a drink in my body or pick up anything to hurt me, I can make it through. Amen. You know, after my overdose, I almost died. My parents found me face down on the floor with barely any pulse, and I wasn't really breathing, and they rushed me to the hospital. And they made me drink a lot of charcoal, and I woke up with IVs in my arms a couple days later, but I'm still alive. You know, from going to AA, I found out a lot of people don't get that chance. That's right. So what it's about today is taking that second chance and actually doing something with it, helping people, making a difference in my community. A close friend of mine at my home group just lost his daughter a couple weeks ago. She was 25. She went out and used once, and she didn't make it. We've had a couple group members die, and it just goes to show there's no real drugs anymore. There's fentanyl and everything. You could pick up once and die. So I'm so grateful to be here today, and I'm so grateful God gave me a second chance to kind of redo life and get things right. Yeah, thank you.
Come on now. I'm gonna challenge you guys. That deserves a standing ovation. We're talking about a young adult changing his life, moving towards recovery, and trying to hold on to it. Come on. We're all, you keep moving forward, buddy. All right, well, while you're standing, you might as well stay standing. She became the city of Boston's mayor, as well as the first woman and first black person to hold the prestigious office. She built her career as a longtime education advocate and nonprofit leader. Put your hands together for the mayor of Boston, Kim Janey.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. You can do better than that. Good morning. I want you to give it up again for that young speaker who shared his story. Please, thank you so much. I am truly, truly honored to be here, standing with all of you for more celebration of the recovery community and those working to make recovery a reality for everyone battling addiction. We mark this day in the midst of an opioid crisis that is devastating the lives of individuals and their families all across our country. Substance use disorder is a national crisis, one where we must address addiction itself, but also the stigma surrounding addiction.
It is clear that the opioid crisis in our state disproportionately impacts people of color, Black and Hispanic residents. All over Massachusetts, the deaths in 2020, 3% were opioid related. And of all Black residents who died in Massachusetts last year, nearly 5% as compared to that 3%. This opioid-related death rate nearly doubles for Latino residents. These rates drop when looking at white and Asians. Less than 3% of all white residents who died in Massachusetts were opioid-related deaths. Among Asians, the death rate is even lower at just 1%. But all communities are affected by this crisis, regardless of the disparities. We all know someone who has suffered from addiction. This is certainly true of my own family. I'm thinking of my mother's brother. My uncle was a sweet soul who brought so much joy to our family. He was also dealing with unresolved trauma in his life. My uncle was a gay man who was not able to express his fullest and truest self. And I can only wonder if that influenced his death back in the 1980s. Sadly, we found him with a needle in his arm, having died of an overdose. And I am thinking of him and so many others today when I see the hard work and the compassion of our city workers, including those from our recovery services and the Boston Public Health Commission, who care for people with substance use disorder every single day. This year, the city has trained over 1,100 individuals in overdose prevention and reversal. Everyone's chance of recovery depends on keeping them alive. In our hardest hit neighborhoods, our city outreach team understands this and reverses on average 5 overdoses a day. As the largest city in New England, Boston has built a large safety net, assisting individuals from towns that have not made similar commitments to support their residents. And so far in 2021, the City of Boston teams have made over 2,100 placements into treatment. 2,100. Yes, we can clap for that. The city's residential treatment programs provide over 60 people each day with treatment and supportive recovery environments. We also know, as hard as the City of Boston is working, that this crisis has fallen disproportionately to Boston. We know that this is an issue all over our Commonwealth, and that well over 60% of the people who we are serving right now today, because they're our residents now, but they originate from other towns and communities across the Commonwealth. And we need everyone to step up and provide the support needed to make sure that everyone has a chance. In Boston, we are not backing away from this moral obligation, but we do need strong partners throughout the Commonwealth to step up and help tackle this crisis. This includes everyone in elected office, including folks at different municipal levels as well as at the state level. I've been meeting with and working with the governor on this issue, who earlier this summer committed $30 million in investment across the state. We can clap for that. $30 million to address homelessness and substance use. These investments will go a long way to fund low-threshold permanent housing and street outreach across 7 other cities and towns across Massachusetts, including Boston. And I commend this decision. This investment is important, but we are still waiting for that to come to a reality. So we've got to make sure that we realize that promise for decentralized residential treatment all across our Commonwealth to help individuals, because addiction knows no boundary, knows no zip code, no race, impacts all of us. And this issue is growing even more urgent here in our city streets in Boston. We know that individuals experiencing substance use disorder need those beds and those services across our region to help address the crisis. And the reason that we work so hard here in the city of Boston to support individuals with addiction is because that we know that recovery is possible. Recovery is possible. And so family, friends, clinicians, outreach workers in Boston help individuals access life-changing care and support, including accessing medical treatments, supportive housing, and job training programs so that people can rebuild their lives, restore their relationships on the road to recovery. And our gathering today, on Recovery Day, celebrates those who are a living testament, people like the speaker we just heard from, a living testament to the difference that these services make. And it reminds us that we have to keep fighting to provide these opportunities to every Boston resident and every resident across our Commonwealth, and that we all must do our part. I want to take a moment to celebrate one of our champions who just walked across the podium. One of our champions of recovery in Boston, Marianne Frangulis. Did I say your name right? Frangulis. Yes, please give it up for Marianne. As a tireless leader of the Massachusetts Organization for Addiction Recovery for over 20 years, Marianne has led the work in the Commonwealth to ensure those in early recovery have the support they need and a voice on the Hill. Marianne and MOAR have created a strong network of peers helping peers in early recovery find community and stability. In recognition of her dedicated advocacy and education work, I am presenting Marianne with a letter of citation. On behalf of the City of Boston, I want to wish her congratulations and best wishes for continued success in the years to come. Give it up, you can do better than that. And if this, I will do it. If this commitment to helping, you can stand back here, Marianne. If this commitment to helping individuals on the road to recovery was available when my uncle was wrestling with his addiction, maybe he would still be with us today. But the fact that you are all here and that you are continuing this work and this walk and this celebration, it speaks volumes, especially to those who have fear of speaking up about their addiction. I pray that you all find encouragement today, and I thank you for joining us on this walk. Let's keep moving forward on this collective journey toward recovery. Thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna put my mask back on. Well, we're inside. I only do that.
While they're doing that, let's give our new mayor another hand. Come on. A hand for recovery, a hand for standing with us, a hand for the citation for Marianne. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. As we continue to move forward, our next speaker, a person working for recovery services within the collegiate community. But before she comes, I am told to let everyone know there is pizza on the way. So those of you that may be hungry and want to have a slice, it's coming. So let's put our hands together and let's welcome Miss Lena Abdallah.
Okay, now that was 2 tough acts to follow, especially the student in recovery. Unbelievable to be here, and what a privilege to hear stories and to see everybody here. It is an honor. As a person in recovery myself, I am a person in long-term recovery. I've been in recovery for 7 years. And I am here today to speak to you on collegiate recovery. When I started getting involved with collegiate recovery, I didn't even know it was called collegiate recovery. I was just doing it. I'm like, what's collegiate recovery? It's what I was doing. It's college recovery, okay? What is college recovery? It provides supports for students who are struggling or in recovery on college and university campuses. This is a movement that's happening. It doesn't exist in every college and university, and our hopes is that it will and that it should, because what it does, yes, because what it does is it provides a place for students to get support. They can say, and they can make connections with other students who understand them, and then have staff and faculty. You can say, I was just using heroin, I'm in school, I'm trying. And a faculty and staff member will say, wow, you have something to offer. That's amazing. That is unbelievable. What it also does, it gives students an opportunity to run meetings on campus and to hold alcohol and drug-free events for students. And it also helps students learn to be advocates for recovery, to use their recovery voices. That's where I started to feel comfortable telling people, hey, I'm in recovery, and I want to help other people. And it introduces them to community organizations that believe in them, like MOAR. Marianne believed in me in my journey. And most importantly, it's a judgment-free space. For me, I did not believe that I was a candidate for school. I depleted every resource, or I thought I did. I emptied, zero, nothing, like I don't know what else to put in there. And I said, I'm gonna try, I'm gonna go back to school. And I did, and they took me back. I couldn't believe it. And then I found students who understood me when I felt like everybody knows, you know, as I'm walking. And I found people who believed in me, faculty, staff, organizations, more, the Mayor's Office of Recovery Services, the Phoenix. And so it changed my life, I would not probably be standing here today. And I want everyone to know that education could be a possibility. And like Dr. Hernandez said, education could be a pathway to recovery, right? There's multiple pathways to recovery. Education can be one. And if you think that your resources have been depleted and nothing's left, I did too, and here I am today. And it could be possible. And guess what else? You could be part of the change that's happening. We need more support. We need universities and colleges to recognize that students are struggling or in recovery and they need help. They need help. So be part of this movement, learn about it, ask questions. Find me if you need help, I'll help you. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lena. Thank you so much. Yes, recovery's real. Come on. Our next speaker is the Public Health and Fellow of Substance. Whoa, that was just completely butchered. Let's start over. Take two. All right, let's put our hands together and welcome the Public Health Fellow of Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administrator, Tim Jean from SAMHSA.
Oh, wow. Hi, everybody. Good morning. It is just an honor and a privilege to be able to be here right now. I want to first give it up to Sam. That was so brave to get up here and speak in front of you all. And thank you to the mayor. I'm just so happy to be here today, and what a way to celebrate Recovery Day, right? Especially in person. And of course, leave it up to Marianne and the MOAR team for getting us all here in person today and spread the message of recovery, connection, and hope. Again, my name is Tim Jean, and I'm a person in recovery from a substance use disorder. And for me, that means that I haven't used substances since November 9, 2014. Thank you. I work for the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration's New England Regional Office within the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, located right here in Boston, down the road of the JFK building. a few years ago, I would never be saying those two words, or at least those two sentences, or at least thought I would be. I'm so happy and proud of myself, and I'm proud of everybody here today. SAMHSA's mission is to reduce the impact of substance abuse and mental illness on America's communities. I want to take this opportunity to share a couple priorities that SAMHSA has identified as areas of concern at both the national level and throughout New England. In the last 18 months, as a nation, we've experienced about 95,000 deaths to overdose since the onset of COVID-19 pandemic, and we all know that even one is too many. SAMHSA state opioid response grants will see a proposed increase of $750 million for next year, fiscal year 2022. And that's a $75 million set aside specifically for tribal nations. This grant program aims to address the opioid crisis by increasing access to medication-assisted treatment using FDA-approved medications for treatment of opioid use disorders with the aim of reducing unmet treatment needs and reducing opioid overdose-related deaths through the provision of prevention, treatment, and recovery activities for opioid use disorder. Another initiative that we're really excited about at SAMHSA, and I'm sure many of you in this room have heard about, is the new 988 dial code for the National Suicide and Prevention Lifeline. And it's going to be unveiled in July 22, that's next July. And this will aim to provide access to emotional support and crisis services 24/7 hours a day, 7 days a week. The fiscal year 2022 budget request for the upcoming 988 implementation is $102 million, which is an increase of $78 million currently enacted for this year, fiscal year 21. These are critical times for enhancements in the behavioral health care system, and SAMHSA is devoted to continuing to support a life in recovery, promoting health, home, community, and purpose. Thank you, MOAR, for your continued partnership and letting SAMHSA share exciting initiatives. On behalf of the whole SAMHSA New England team of 3, Tom Coderre, who is currently serving as Acting Deputy Assistant Secretary for Mental Health and Substance Use, and is the first person to hold that role who's in recovery, and Assistant Regional Administrator Taylor Bryan Turner, who's here with me today, we wish all of you the best. And remember, treatment is effective, prevention works, and people do recover. Happy Recovery Day.
All right, all right. First and foremost, I just want to thank everybody for coming out today. You know, a lot of times when you stand up here and you start to run the show, if you would, there are certain things that you forget to say and do. And one of the things that I didn't say is that I am also a staff of MOAR. And for those that may not know, my name is Noel Sierra, but I'm also a person in long-term recovery. And that's the major thing right there, is that because of recovery, it has allowed me the privilege to live my life the way I'm supposed to live my life. So I just want to take this time to let everyone know we do have pizzas coming, and what we want to do is give everybody just take a break. If you want to just sit back, we have a video that we're going to play, and we want you guys just to watch this video intently, please. If you want to chat, we just ask you to chat outside or keep it down so that we can all listen, we can all watch this video. Marianne, sit back, relax, and just chill.
Everyone, thank you for coming today for this important meeting. It is Marianne's 30th anniversary with MOAR, a big milestone in the recovery community. And I'm thinking we need to get some ideas about like some sort of gift to celebrate this momentous occasion. Julie Pike, what do you think?
Well, you know, I say thank you to Marianne for making every family valuable, the community vocal, and every person visible. I'd say having a harbor tour with her would be really great throughout Boston.
Hey, Marianne loves to rhyme. What if we had people like share some rhymes and saying thank you to Marianne? They could rhyme all the time and feel good about recovery and be vocal, visible, and valuable.
Yeah, you know what? I already thought about this, and I put into production a whole outfit of her that says visible, vocal, and virtual this year. So what do you think about that idea?
Well, you know, I'm all about going away. I think we should all just take some of the budget money and have a vacation after this long pandemic and not seeing each other. And I'm all about that. Let's give her a vacation with the staff.
Hey, I'm down with that. But you know what? In Massachusetts, we've been celebrating champions like the Bruins, you know, the Red Sox and the Patriots, right? They do these duck tours, right? So why don't we do, Mary Ann's the recovery champion, so why don't we do a duck boat tour with the recovery champion banner and with Mary Ann leading the charge on those duck boats?
Mary Ann is always doing more for individuals in the community, in the recovery community. So what about giving her like a personal spa day?
No, I do know this. Trying to keep up with Mary Ann and walk, and everybody knows how fast she can walk. But during this pandemic, I know she hasn't been able to get out as much to walk with people. So I thought about getting her a treadmill so she can keep those legs in shape and keep that speed she's been going at for all these 31 years. It is something like that.
I was actually thinking spa day too, but I was thinking like yoga and spa, and for all of us together, you know, to go someplace, because we've all been working really, really hard. But we can celebrate with Mary Ann, but we can also celebrate the hard work that we're doing to support her.
Well, I don't know if you all might call me a little old-fashioned or not, but I would say to get a nice card and a bouquet of flowers with another gift. But in the card, because Mary Ann is such a recovery champion and a pioneeress.
Wow, those are really, really great ideas. How about a sterling silver bullhorn for Mary Ann with all of the recovery, of all of the recovery, like, sayings that she's had over the years for Recovery Day.
But I had seen her bucket list one time on her desk, and I'm pretty sure I saw one of her bucket list items was to take a bungee jumping trip to Australia.
I'm thinking about, what if we did this big kind of like movie trailer that you see for coming attractions, that big music and graphics and everything like that? That sounds like a lot of fun.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 Mary Ann Frangoulis Lifetime Achievement Award, brought to you by Hope for Holyoke Recovery Center, National Recovery Month 2021, and the Fly by the City Your Pants production company. Here's your host, Debbie Flynn Gonzalez.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hope for Holyoke's Red Carpet Recovery event. I am so excited to be here. There is so much recovery taking place today, and first I do want to say Happy Recovery Month to everybody. And isn't it great to be in recovery? It is. Now, I don't want to keep this any longer. For the moment you've all been waiting for, tonight we are presenting a very special, for the first time, a very prestigious award which we have named the Mary Ann Frangoulis Lifetime Achievement Award. This is a very special award, and we're going to be giving it to Mary Ann Frangoulis herself for her dedication and continued effort in the field of recovery. This is the first one we're giving out. We're giving it to Mary Ann today, and here she is with the very first Lifetime Achievement Award, Mary Ann Frangoulis.
Thank you, Miss Deb. Thank you, Miss Deb. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. Are you ready for more recovery? We are victoriously visible, vocal, valuable, and now virtual. There's so many V's in that statement. Anyway, wait. Did you say I've won an award? Oh my gosh. First, I would like to thank all the little people. I would like to thank the Academy of Recovery Coaches, Hope for Holyoke, Peer Recovery Support Center, the Fly by the Seat of Your Pants production company, and so many others for this amazing and most prestigious award, the Mary Ann Frangoulis Lifetime Achievement Award. Oh, that does sound awesome. Oh my gosh. There's so much more I want to say.
Yes, Congratulations, Marianne. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Thank you for all you do.
I want to thank MOAR.
Okay, Marianne. Thank you. We need to keep it moving. Thank you, Marianne. And thank you all for being here tonight. We hope to see you in 2022. Who knows? Maybe you will be the second recipient of the very prestigious Marianne Frangulis Lifetime Achievement Award. We love you, Marianne, from Hope for Holyoke.
Hi, Marianne. What an absolute pleasure to spotlight you during this 2021 National Recovery Month celebration. As a person in long-term recovery, I know the importance of this month for our recovery community. Since I met you in 2013, when I took on recovery support services for the Bureau of Substance Addiction Services and became MOAR's contract manager, I was immediately struck by your enthusiasm and passion. Not just for being in recovery, but for the recovery movement that was happening throughout the entire country. I learned that I no longer had to be anonymous. And as this month's theme says, recovery is for everyone. For 20 plus years, you have marched, chanted, organized, rhymed, and advocated to add protective factors and build resiliency by connecting all of our communities in Massachusetts. You have built bridges across the state and across our programs. You have grown from a one-person advocate into an 18-staff $1 million program. I celebrate you, Marianne Frangulis, as our Massachusetts recovery champion.
Hello, my name is Jack Kelly, and I am a person in long-term recovery, but the reason for this video is to celebrate the career and the person of Marianne Frangulis. She is a good friend of mine, and she is a good friend to everybody who has been affected by addiction. There are countless people in this state, in this country, quite frankly, who owe so much to your activism and your career. But more than that, you are a phenomenal woman. You have taught me so much just in my career and what I've had to learn as far as activism and how to do things and how to get stuff done. I owe so much to you in how you have helped sort of pave the way for people like myself to come after it, and it was easy for people like me to do the activism that I did because of somebody like Marianne. So again, just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to all the people that you've helped in the recovery community in Massachusetts.
Without Marianne Frangulis, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts recovery support and recovery treatment would not be where it's at. From the bottom of my heart, Marianne Frangulis and Massachusetts recovery paved the way for all of us. Thank you. I love you.
Good morning, Marianne Frangulis. This is Jennifer Burns here. I just wanted to give you a quick shout out to let you know how honored it has been to work with you and watch all the changes you've made over the past 30 years in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for individuals in recovery. The advocacy that you do to change laws, to make sure that individuals in recovery's voices are heard, has been phenomenal. A lot of what I do today is because of you, Marianne. You've inspired me and many others, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Hi, my name is Stephen Tolman. I'm president of the Massachusetts AFL-CIO. But years ago, I served in the Senate, and I was the Senate chair on mental health and substance abuse. And that's really where I got to know Marianne. And so, Marianne, I love you, I respect you, and I don't think anybody worked harder in our fight against addiction than you and the people in your organization, MOAR. So I just want to say this is probably mid-career for you, Marianne, but if we were to ever say who gave their heart and soul, who had the strength to fight and stand up for what was right during those very difficult times, nobody could say they did it more than Marianne Frangulis. You were my heart, my soul, and most importantly, my inspiration. So it's always great to be with you, and most importantly, if you ever need anything, I am there. AFL-CIO is there because you rock. Thank you, Marianne, for all you do.
How's it going, Marianne? Maggie, I'm the poet here. Just wanted to show my complete appreciation for everything that you've done for the recovery community as a whole and for myself. I think it was about 10 years ago It was the first real recovery event that I was asked to speak at. It was the Ride for Recovery, and that was when I first met you. And ever since then, any type of event, any type of recovery thing, whether it's the Worcester Mechanics Hall or Recovery Day at Faneuil Hall, you've always asked me to come out there and share my message, and it's something I'm extremely grateful for. You're an absolute recovery rock star. We're so grateful to have you in the community, and we just wanted to show you some love, show you some appreciation. I got nothing but love for you. Hope you have an amazing day.
Hi, Mary Ann. It's Bob here. Hopefully you remember me as the former Speaker of the House. I just wanted to join with so many others who wanted to congratulate you, and even more importantly, to thank you for your years of service and hard work to help those who have been afflicted by addiction. You know, one of the things I will always remember about you was the hard work that you always brought into fighting addiction here in Massachusetts. And so with that, again, congratulations and thank you, and please take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Congratulations, Mary Ann, on 30 years of leading MOAR to new heights and having such a positive impact on the recovery community. We thank you for your passion, for your tireless advocacy, for sending the message to everybody that recovery is real. Love you, Mary Ann. Thank you for all you do.
Hi, Mary Ann. John here. Just want to say thank you for everything you've done with me at MOAR. Since 2011, it's been an honor working with you and the team over the course of the years. Just really excited to continue to be part of MOAR. Appreciate you. Congratulations. Excited to continue to work with you as we move forward with our relationship. And from the bottom of my heart, please know that everything you've done for me over the years has been much appreciated. Thank you, and God bless. Recovery rocks.
Marianne Frangoulis, I love you. I deemed you the Mother Teresa of the recovery community. You were doing it before it was popular. I'll never forget our early days up at the State House. You are a warrior and a force. And without you, I don't think any of this could have taken off. I love you. Peace.
Hi everyone, Danielle O'Brien from VSAS here. Grateful to have this opportunity to acknowledge and celebrate the amazing, tireless, life-saving advocacy work of recovery champion Mary Ann Frangoulis. Mary Ann has been a constant supporter of the peer recovery support centers from the very beginning, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you, Mary Ann, for encouraging myself and all of my peers in the recovery community to be proud and united, and ever reminding us that our lived experience is valuable, showing us how to channel our pain, grief, excitement, and passion into powerful advocacy. Thank you for leading the march and the movement, for sharing your incredible and unmatched spirit in fighting the good fight, and for moving mountains for us. Happy Recovery Month, Mary.
Mary Ann, this is your friend Marty Walsh. I just want to congratulate you on getting recognized for the amazing work that you've done for the recovery community over the years. I miss working at the State House, and I miss working at City Hall, but I know you're fighting the fight every day, so congratulations.
Hey, Mary Ann. I'm so happy to have this opportunity to thank you. We're all so grateful at Magnolia New Beginnings for all that you've done in the state of Massachusetts and nationwide to change how our loved ones are perceived and ultimately the care that they get. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great day. Love you.
Hey, Mary Ann, this is Sarah from A-Hope. I just wanted to say thank you for everything that you've done for the recovery community, for the harm reduction community, for folks who are struggling with substance use. Everything that you do has an impact on the ground, and every time that you have stepped up to support us, I've been so grateful. I just want you to know how appreciated you are and how awesome you are. So thanks from the entire team at A-Hope.
Mary Ann, I want to say congratulations to you. You have always been a warrior when it comes to recovery. I think about the days we was in DC and you were just advocating for all kind of things around addiction and harm reduction and abstinence. So you, my lady friend, are a princess right, in the world of recovery.
Hey Marianne, Taisha from PAPS here. I'm the director and we just want to thank you for all of your hard work.
Marianne, thank you so much for everything.
This is from Graken Center's Rapid Access Recovery Coaches. Thank you.
Hi Marianne. On behalf of the Office of Recovery Services, we'd like to thank you for all that you've done for the recovery communities in Massachusetts.
Your voice and your passion is making a huge impact in our communities, and we're deeply grateful for you.
Marianne, there's only one Marianne Frangoulis, that's for sure. I just wanted to take the time to thank you, Marianne, for your tireless efforts and your dedication over the years to the recovery community and for all of us working in the treatment and recovery world. We are where we are today because of you. We could have never done it without you. Nobody has the energy and the tenacity that you have. And I'll never, ever forget that in my first year recovery, you had me testify at the State House at Recovery Day. And here I am 17 years later, and you play a part in that. Thank you, Marianne. Love you.
Hey, Marianne, this is Dave from the Combined Recovery Center. Thank you for being
visible,
vocal, and valuable. Who's better than you? From all of us at DRC, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love Marianne. You heard it. We love you, Marianne, from your friends at the Recovery Connection in Marlborough. Marianne, you are one of a kind. There has never been, nor will there ever be, anyone quite like you. Your dedication and commitment to the recovery movement over the last 30 years is unmatched, and with your continuous energy that you bring to the table each and every day, we look forward to another 30.
As part of the Addiction Fundamentals Committee and as part of the Massachusetts Probation Service, we in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts are fortunate to have a woman of honor and dignity whose compassion, passion, and commitment to those who suffer and struggle with substance use disorder is fearless, unrelenting, and oh so empathetic. We are humbled by you, honored to know you, and thank you for your continued dedication and support. We love you, Marianne.
Thank you, Marianne.
We love you.
Thanks for all you do.
My name is Efraim Weisbrunn, Director of Stairway to Recovery. I am honored to congratulate Marianne Frangoulis on her 25th anniversary with MOAR. Marianne, muchas gracias. The recovery community is grateful to have you in front advocating for recovery. Keep on talking.
I am Rebecca Starr, here with the ATR team to tell you how honored we have been these last 11 years to partner with you on recovery issues. Marianne, you are an extraordinary leader. Congratulations.
Hi, this is Casey from ATR. Congratulations, Marianne.
Hi, this is Liesl from ATR. Congratulations and thank you.
Hi, this is Erin from ATR. Congratulations, Marianne.
Hi, this is Christine from ATR. Congratulations on all your achievements.
Hi, this is Susanna with ATR. Congratulations on work very well done.
Hi, this is Carol Goldberg from ATR. Congratulations, Marianne. We've been blessed to have you and MOAR share our mission.
Hi, Marianne. I just want to say thank you for your support in the recovery community and also for all the advocating you do to fight for the next recovery addict. Thank you for coming on.
Hey Marianne, I just wanted to thank you so much for your hard work and dedication. If it wasn't for you putting your heart and soul into the recovery movement, we wouldn't be here with this opportunity to thank you. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Marianne, thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you, Marianne, for all you do for the recovery community. We at New Beginnings are eternally grateful.
Gracias, Marianne, por todo lo que has hecho por la comunidad en recuperación. Aquí en Nuevos Comienzos te estamos eternamente agradecidos.
Thank you, Marianne.
Congratulations and thank you. We love you.
Love you and appreciate you.
We love you.
30 more years to go.
Yeah.
All right.